it's Mark here at TapeTally.com, and just a recap of this second week of trading here. So this is January the 15th is today, the day I'm making a video, but the week was over the 9th to the 13th. Tomorrow we have a holiday that is Martin Luther King holiday, I believe, in the States, so we won't be open on the US markets, but the Canadian markets will be open. So let's go over the week here. Monday we did see a gap up. You can see right here, this is the S&P, the spider, and we did see a gap up and basically another consolidation. So we've seen that 2 weeks in a row, where we've seen kind of the first day of the trading week up, and then oh, actually we saw, sorry, that was on Tuesday, we saw the big gap up and then consolidated downwards a bit to fill in that gap that we made on Tuesday morning, and that's about it. We did have a kind of a comeback from a down open on Friday, so let me just pull that up here, intraday. So this was throughout the week here. So Monday was kind of a nothing day. Tuesday we saw that large gap, and then we consolidated through here for kind of the remaining for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then on Friday we saw a gap lower, but it did finish quite strong. Buyers came in the last couple hours here to finish it off. Let's go back to the daily here. So basically, it was a constructive week. We did see, I think the market was up basically just under 1% for a lot of them. Let me just pull it up here. I will just give you the exact figures. Actually, the exact figures don't really matter. Oh, here we go, actually. So they're 0.88, so just under 1% for the SPY. Nasdaq was up a little, but a little bit less. Dow was up about 0.5%. Gold was up. So let's just go through these charts. Basically, a lot of the major indexes will, of course, look the same. Gold continues to bounce, and as we talked about before, we're seeing it bounce off that long-term trend line. Regardless of the news that the gold trade is over, I still believe that we have some room to the upside. It did come away from its trend line, but we did see a strong bounce off here, and I think we're still good up to about 173 on the GLD. So let's take a look at oil on the daily chart here, and oil did not have a great week. So it is still, I guess you can call it consolidating or whatever. It's just kind of stuck in this range for the time being. Even with the big down move, it doesn't really mean anything in the long term, in the long term picture here. So VIX continues, the volatility continues to come out. We did see a bit of a jump this week, so I do expect, although we did have a constructive week, I do expect a bit of a pullback here, kind of back into this range. If we do see a breakout, that's great, and then we're just going to counter more of the resistance that we made here in this range. So there's a lot of work to do. I mean, if we want to break out to new highs, I mean that's a long ways off, and I think the play for next week is actually slightly downwards for next week, but we'll see how that goes. Let's look at Canada. Just basically another consolidation week. We did see on Tuesday same kind of deal. Oops, let's just go intraday. See the same kind of deal on Tuesday the 10th. We saw a big gap up, then it sort of consolidated slightly downwards, and then a strong finish to Friday. So let's take a look at the abnormal movers on Friday, see if we like anything, and then I'll go over some of the setups I'm seeing for next week, which I've also posted on a separate post on the web. Just make this a little bit bigger so it's easier to see the candlesticks. Just not really seeing too much here. This is sort of a breakdown from a descending triangle. Here we're we're not seeing any big moves from good bases. Just gonna flip through these charts quite quickly. See, this one is way overextended, obviously. We wouldn't want to be buying that one. A lot of these are still stuck in their range, right? I'm just going through these. Oh, let's go back to that one. What was that one? BKU is sort of a sloppy chart. Bank United, let's take a look on the, this may be an IPO of some sort. Yeah, that one's not horrendous, although it is a bit illiquid. It's not that great, but I do like the fact that it broke out here. What I don't like about this stock is that it did not finish near its high. Typically with these breakouts, you're going to see, you know, if it was a strong market, you're going to see buyers tripping over themselves to get into the stock, especially towards the end of the day. So that's how a stock finishes is quite important. So let's take a look at some of the stocks that I'm watching here now. So we're seeing Biogen. If we look at this one on a weekly time frame, I mean, we can see that it has gone up quite a bit, but that obviously doesn't mean it can't go up even more, and that's what I'm kind of looking for here. I'm looking for confirmation that we're going to be hitting all-time highs here. So maybe a break from here. You know, this is kind of a constructive pattern. So if we see a break on increased volume, I'd definitely be interested in that one. Click Software Technologies, same kind of deal. You know, if we look at this on a long-term time frame, it's been going up, a lot of momentum behind the stock, and kind of stopped here. If we even draw it on the weekly, we can see that it has, you know, after a big move up here, we kind of have a consolidation here, and it's breaking out of there. So I'm kind of interested in this one. Let's go through daily again. Dycom Industries. Once again, we saw a break to new highs here, and we saw a bit of follow through. Although this candle here on Thursday that it made is not that constructive, but I mean it's due for a pullback after a move off 20 all the way above to 22 and a half or 23 almost. Yes, that would be, yeah, almost 23. So that's a $3 move on a $20 stock. You know, that's still quite a bit. So you do expect. We're going to watch next week to see if it can hold this and maybe take some positions in it. It may be very worthwhile in the future as well. Ebix Incorporated. Again, we saw a few entries on this one before. You know, we saw a break right here from a somewhat cup and handle pattern, and then we're seeing another break here from a bit of a pennant pattern, I guess you could put this. Just another, or a flag pattern, a tight flag pattern here. That's, I would say that's tight. Nah, it's not that tight, but. So this one is definitely one to watch. Endologics, I really like this one. Although it was kind of sloppy up here, trying to break out, couldn't break out. And finally it did break out and held its high. Going into the end of the day, and this is actually an all-time high for the stock, I believe, if I remember correctly. Now you're seeing this one, you know, it's going up quite a bit and quite fast. The momentum's behind the stock, but I think it still has some room to move. FEI Corporation once again. So let's take a look at this one on the longer term time frame, hitting all-time highs. So once again, we saw a break here. Right, so it's looking half decent for this one. Could even gather more momentum. This one had a break recently to 550 here on December 27th, and you know, it has held its breakout. I'm looking for it to get back somewhere in this area. Actually is not too bad. Probably be setting a wider stop on this one, maybe at the bottom here for 417, 418, something like that. Rate Financial Trust did see a break from a pennant pattern here. I'll just draw it out quickly, and you saw sort of a break from a pennant pattern on decent volume here on this day. So RAS has been doing okay here, so look on increased volume, and it has had some follow through here after day break on Thursday. It has had some follow through, so this is definitely one to watch. Biopharma, another play in the biotech industry. The biotech industry has actually been quite hot, and it continues to be so. We'll continue to play it until it becomes not the hottest. So this one broke out to new highs. If we look at this one on the weekly, I mean, it's been moving right off its trend line as well. But from a short-term standpoint, not a bad trade to take here. WOOF, which is VCA Antec. This one has also broken out. Let me just draw a few lines on here. It's broken out of, I guess you could say, an ascending triangle. In a lot of these patterns, ascending triangles and pennants and everything, they're kind of up to the person drawing it, right? So some other trader may draw these lines slightly different, but the key to it all is finding good setups on high volume, breaking out of good consolidation patterns. These are your high reward, low risk probability setups. This is what you're looking for. So you can see here it broke out above the $21 mark on good volume and finished at the high of the day. So let's take a look at this one intraday. I'll just show it because this one happened intraday. So we're seeing that it held up pretty well at even towards the end of the day on this WOOF. So we did see some constructive work done this week, but we're still remaining somewhat neutral on the markets. There's a lot of stocks we're seeing that are still stuck in ranges and still going down. It's I've heard the term that it's a stock pickers market, and either way, we really want to see a lot more stocks breaking out before we can say that we're in a fresh new up leg of the market. Thanks. Have a good week.